Welcome to our webinar, which is dedicated to international bachelor's programs in English. My name is Anna and I'm from Marketing Office, and today I'm going to moderate this session. And today with me I have Ilona, Program Director of Science and Technology. I have Sten, a student of Business Administration, and I have Efe and Ege, who are going to introduce medicine. So our schedule will be as follows. So we are going to start with Ilona and then continue with business administration and medicine presentations. And then after, we are going to open Q&A session. Please leave your questions under Q&A box. And then in the end, we are going to answer them. It would be really nice if you indicate the program you are referring to. So for instance, if you're interested in business administration, before asking your question, please indicate that it's for business administration or for medicine or for science and technology. Then it would be easier for us to navigate who is going to answer the question. Please leave your questions at any point of this webinar. Some of the questions are going to be answered in written form, especially those that are acquiring some links. So please keep an eye on your questions, and you might receive the answer in written form. We are going to start with science and technology presentation. So Ilona, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Ilona, and I will share with you presentation now. So I'm a program director of Science and Technology program, and this program is in University of Tartu, in town named Tartu. It's not the capital of Estonia. The capital of Estonia is Tallinn, but Tartu is a city of good thoughts, and we name it as student capital of Estonia. So it's a small cozy town. Here lives around 100,000 citizens, and every fifth resident is somehow connected to university. So every fifth person is otherwise student or teacher of university or some worker of university. So it's really have this town, such a student atmosphere. And also this town is known as the intellectual capital of Estonia and the city of youth, because it's a lot of students coming every year and studying and living in Tartu. So also we have one award of the best living environments for students. So it's really cozy and compact town, and it's pretty safe to live and study in this environment. So also we are very proud that we belong to the top 1.2% of the world's best universities. So it's not only the best in Estonia or in Baltic countries, but it also has a very good position in the world, the university. So if you are graduating from Tartu University, you don't need to prove your education in future when you want to enter some other program or some other universities in the world. So here are also some of our rankings. As you see, we are on pretty good positions in this rankings as well. So I don't think you will regret it if you will study in University of Tartu, and you will get for sure education on a good level. And it's not only on a good level, it's also one of the biggest, and even not one of the biggest, it's the biggest university in Estonia, and it was founded in 1632, so pretty old university. At the moment here studies around 13,000 students, which Estonians and international, and the international students are around 12% of this amount, and the students are from all over the world, from over than 100 different countries. And in university there are 4 faculties. It's arts and humanities, it's social sciences, science and technology, and medicine. And here also very good, the biggest library in Estonia, and it has a really international environment, international vibe as a university. We are also not only on teaching level, study level on a good positions, but also in university we do a good science. It's about 2/3 of the national research output coming from Tartu University, and more PhD degrees are defended in Tartu University than in all other Estonian universities combined. So it's really good, and a lot of PhD degrees coming out from Tartu University. Also, 54 Tartu University scientists belong to the top 1% of the most cited scientists in the world, which is also a good achievement. So it's like a brief overview about our town and about university, but if you want to get to know it better, you can visit our virtual tour of Tartu University. So especially as it's pretty hard to travel at the moment because of COVID situation, but you always can do the virtual tour of our town and to get more familiar to it. So it's virtualtour.ut.ee. And now let's talk about the Science and Technology Bachelor's program a bit more. It has 3 specializations. It's Bioengineering and Robotics, it's Chemistry and Material Science, and it's Genetics and Biotechnology. And it provides a broad overview of natural and exact sciences and technology. So you don't need to choose specialization straight away when you are in university. When you are entering the program, you are entering science and technology program, and only after 1.5 years you are choosing your specialization, one of these 3 specializations. So it's the education on a good quality, and there are a lot of practical skills as well. You are getting not only theoretical ones, so the program is full of different practical courses, and it helps for you at the beginning also to choose the specialization and to understand what you like more, because you have the possibility to try yourself in one or another specialization and to try it in the labs or in some research groups. So then you will understand better what you like, what not. And yeah, it's an international program. We have a lot of students from different countries studying science technology. So a bit more about structure of science and technology program. It's like the majority of bachelor's programs 3 years, and during 3 years you have to gain 180 credits. It means that you have to take around 30 credits per semester. And it doesn't mean that you cannot take more, you can take more credits, but the minimum requirement is 30 credits. And even if you're taking, for example, more credits, but all compulsory subjects have to be done to graduate. And when you are graduating, you are doing graduation thesis and bachelor thesis, and it's a defense of thesis at the end. So program consists of such a model, like there is 2 base models which are compulsory: narrow field model, specialty models, elective model, and optional models, and graduation thesis, as I mentioned at the end. A bit more about these models. The base model consists of basic subjects and some practicals. These subjects you are taking at the beginning before you choose your specialization. So as you see here are such a basic subjects like chemistry, physics, mathematics, programming for sure, but you also have practicals. For example, here introductory laboratory course, and this during this course, which is already on the first semester, spring semester, first year. So as you are getting to university, it's straight away you are getting to the labs as well. you're doing some experiments in the field of physics, in the field of chemistry, in the field of genetics, bioengineering, and robotics. So you are getting already on the first semester, such a brief overview of different specializations. As I always say that when you are entering university, when you are coming to study science and technology, usually you have pretty abstract imagination about the specialities after school, because at schools we are not studying specifically, for example, genetics or bioengineering or robotics. So we know only briefly about it, and very often when students are coming and starting to study it, they're telling that, oh, it's completely different thing than I thought. And yeah, so such a subject and such a structure of the program helps you to avoid these mistakes of choosing specialization. And after you are doing this two compulsory models, you also have this narrow field model, where you have a bit more of different basic subjects before you have to choose the specialization. And also, it's not the compulsory subject, this laboratory project, but it's one elective. What I advise always to take on during this first 3 semesters. It's laboratory projects. In this subject, you are doing 3 different projects in different specializations, as the program has bioengineering and robotics, chemistry and material science, and genetics and biotechnology. And during the course, a student takes some research project from each field and have to do it individually in the research lab under supervision of supervisor. It's such an individual teaching. And after that, presenting to the classmates, and this subject also helps to get familiar to different research groups in the university, and to get familiar to the specializations, and also to get as you are getting familiar to the research groups, it's maybe easier to choose where to write your bachelor thesis later. So, and also we are always motivating students to enter any research group for the practical, for the doing a research project as soon as possible. So first semester it's a bit too hard, but maybe already starting from the second, third semester, fourth for sure, to join some kind of lab to start doing your bachelor thesis project, or to have some practice in this field and later do project there. So, and after you are passing all these 3 semesters, 1.5 years altogether, you are dividing between the specialization. And as you are divided between specializations, then you already have to take all 3 models, all subjects which belongs to one or another. For example, if you are choosing bioengineering and robotics specialization, then next 1.5 years you're studying all the subjects which are connected to the current specialization. As you see, it's already about bioengineering and robotics mostly. And if you are choosing chemistry and materials science specialization, then it's a lot of different chemical subjects what you have to pass next 3 semester. So 1.5 years together, and 1.5 years already according to choosing of your specialization. So genetics and biotechnology specialization, the subjects are here in front of you. It's already more connected to genetics, as you see, and some biotechnology subjects. And besides these models, you have to take elective courses, optional courses, and bachelor thesis at the end. So elective courses, so you have to choose 12 credits from the list of subjects, which is usually connected to the field. Also, beside this list, we can sometimes add some other subjects which are connected to the field, but is not in our list. But optional courses, it's any courses you want to take in the university. It can be even, I don't know, drawing, languages, any courses you want. And the minimum requirement is 6 credits, but if you wish, you can take more courses. And the bachelor thesis at the end, 12 credits. So when you are writing bachelor thesis, you can write it in any research laboratory or faculty of science and technology, not only in our Institute of Technology from where I am, but from any research laboratory, what you like. Also, beside this compulsory subjects, specialization subjects, and so on, our program participates in iGEM competition every year. And we have our team. So it's a synthetic biology competition, which is one of the biggest bioengineering synthetic biology competitions in the world. And there participates around 360 teams from all over the world. And the main goal is to take some kind of problems and offer the to solve this problem, to offer this, how we can solve some kind of problem with the help of synthetic biology. So, but it's not only about synthetic biology, it's also about different parts of collaborations, marketing, doing different workshops and so on. So it's a lot of different parts, and students really enjoy usually doing this project. And it finishes on Jan Jamboree in Boston usually. Not this year, it was online because of COVID, but usually it's there. And our team actually participates already 5th year, if I'm not mistaken, or 4th year. And we are on pretty good level there. We managed to get, here you can see all participants on the Jan Jamboree, and our team is also somewhere here. On this picture I see in the, here. It's our team, and for now we are having already 2 gold and 2 silver medals for this competition. So it's also a pretty good experience for students taking a project and doing it during these 3 years. And also in university and in the programs, there are a lot of different exchange opportunities for exchange students like Erasmus, and you can also spend some semester in any, no, you can see how many possibilities you have to spend in some other countries, towns, and get this international experience even more. And if you want to apply to the program, then you have to do it online. You are writing motivation letter. The application fee is 50 euros, and you have to have proof of your English language test. So it's not influence on your admission points, but it's the requirement. You cannot apply for the program if you don't have proof of English language proficiency. And also we are checking your grades. So your admission points will be state exam or final grade in mathematics. It's from your high school, from a school, and as you're applying to the program, usually before you graduating from a school, then we are checking the grade, the last grade you got in school. And also we need either biology, chemistry, or physics grade. So you're taking the best grade. Otherwise, for example, if the grade is the highest is biology, then we are taking the grade of biology, and it provides another 40% to the admission points. And 20% is motivation letter, which is pretty important as well, because very often there are a choice between 2 candidates who has the same grades in math and biology or chemistry or physics, and the only thing which decides who will get a place, it's motivation letter. So definitely frequently answer all questions in motivation letter, and also add some information about any activities connected to the field. For example, some Olympiads, victories, quizzes you are participating, maybe you were doing some projects and so on. So all important information which shows that you are better candidates than another one put to motivation letter. And tuition fee is 5,000 per year, but we have some tuition waiver scholarships which will cover the fee of studies, and you will study. If you are getting this tuition waiver scholarship, you will study for free. You don't need to apply for it separately, but it will be done automatically. Best candidates will get this tuition waiver scholarships. So, and important date, don't forget that application date deadline is April 15. So it started already on January 2nd and it will last till April 15. So you can already apply, don't miss the deadline. And just briefly about living in Estonia, we have different dormitories. A lot of international students are living there, and the cost is around 150 per month. And your living cost, it can be different depending on the people, but in average we were asking our students and they told that they need around 450 euro per month. So this is one of the dormitories where international student lives. And also we have pretty active student life here. We have different student days. We have a lot of activities for students. So here is not only a good environment for studying, but also for spending free time and to enjoy some company in some cafeterias, some clubs and so on. So you are welcome to Science and Technology family, to our family. And if you have any questions, then you can ask it during our QR session or write to me, to my email. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ilona, for your informative presentation, which included not only information about the program, but also information about the university and about student life. So it was really nice to know more about this stuff as well. So I can see that we have quite many questions already. Please continue leaving your questions. We will try our best to answer as much as we can. Keep an eye because some of the questions we are going to answer in written form as well. But please continue leaving your questions, indicate the programs that you're interested in, so it will be easier for us to understand who is going to answer the question. And right now I'm going to give the floor to Sten, who is going to talk about business administration. Sten, please, you can start.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm going to start sharing my screen. I have a presentation that I prepared. Are you guys seeing it?
Yes, make a full screen. Yeah.
All right. So my name is Sten, and I'm a third-year student at the Business Administration program here at University of Tartu. And my first slide, so Ilona covered that pretty well. So I'm not actually gonna waste too much time with information about the university. All I can say is that from my experience, it's a gorgeous city, and especially the university buildings have a really unique architectural style. So you feel it's a really unique feeling when you start attending the University of Tartu. All right, so jumping right into it, the School of Economics and Business Administration is located in, one of my favorite things about it, it's located in the world-class Delta building along IT, mathematics, and robotics. So there's lots of opportunities to collaborate and talk to people from other departments, maybe some future business idea which needs programmers or mathematicians or people who have skills with robotics. you can get those connections all studying together. The program gives you strong base skills with the theory of economics, which gives you skills for starting your own business, and will really open up the road to becoming a specialist in finance, analytics, marketing, or any other big sector of business. And so the business and management studies places high as well in international rankings, according to the Times Higher Education. And once you've obtained your degree, it's a springboard for entering into the local or international labor market. Or if you've really found that you've taken a liking to the finance courses or maybe statistics or marketing, then you can continue your studies at the master's level, both at the University of Tartu or at another institution. The courses are fully taught in English, and the other students is a multicultural group of people from all over the globe. So what's really interesting is that you will have connections and friends when everybody has gotten their degree all over the place. So when you're traveling, you'll most likely know somebody in the country that you're traveling to. And so my road to the business administration program, I'm from Seattle, Washington. My parents are Estonian. So that's kind of how I heard about University of Tartu. I attended, after graduating, I attended the University of Washington for a year. Then I moved to Tartu in 2017. So I've lived here for quite a while. I served in the Estonian Army. And then in 2019, I began my studies here, and my graduation is planned for spring of 2022. And similarly to what Ilona was saying, the bachelor's program follows the same kind of main framework. So 180 credits is the complete program, 156 is the mandatory business modules, and 24 is our elective courses. So that means 12 of those are are completely free. So you can take whatever non-business related courses you're interested in, maybe philosophy or a science class or biology, anything really that maybe an arts class, and then other electives that are more related to business but are not mandatory. And so yeah, as you can see, the main areas that are covered are business law, economic policy, accounting, finance, marketing, management, global economy, innovation, and research methods. And so those seem all like really broad terms, but the main objective is to give you a good overview of the whole business ecosystem and to give you the tools to figure out what you want to specialize in the future. And so from a more personal perspective, my favorite courses so far have been the statistical and econometric methods course, really interesting, using real data from Eurostat to model different problems, going through the process with our program director, Helen, who's a really good teacher, and this using a program which you're able to put on your CV afterwards, and giving you kind of real physical skills. Introduction to programming, that's an example of an elective. So it's not mandatory, but it was really interesting. And a prerequisite for graduation in our program is an internship, which I completed this last summer. And it was 4 months in Tallinn at a business consultancy firm. And it was it was a really good experience, and I grew a lot from it. And tips for success. So if you come to the business administration program, it's really important that you are good with time management and your organization. Find a group to study with, especially in remote learning times. So, some of the courses are quantitative and do have a lot of math in them. So it's important that you have a good group of people who you can work through this with. get familiar with the curriculum and make a plan, figure out early what you want to do and when you want to do it, although it is planned out to a large extent, and make use of Delta and the UT library. These places are world-class. They're great places to study. And so this is the Delta building, newly built. In the background, you can see the dormitories. This is another picture. And this is the interior. And then an example of the biggest auditorium is on the bottom right. I personally love studying here. It's one of the things I like most about the program, apart from the actual courses. And so in Tartu, there's a really active student life, something that I've really enjoyed since I moved here in 2017. Beautiful nature. Like Ilana said, student town. When you're walking around, you're going to see a lot of young people. You're going to, once you've been going here for a semester or two, you're going to start running into people a lot. Erasmus network, so opportunity to study, to do a semester abroad in our partner universities in other European countries and all over the world. Idea Lab, Startup Lab. So if you have an idea, you can find a mentor who will take you through the process of bringing that idea to fruition. And again, non-corona times, which will, someday be here again. Opportunity to travel and explore in the Baltics and beyond. I've had a really good time traveling to Riga. You can take trips to St. Petersburg. You can go to Helsinki. You can explore Tallinn. There's tons of opportunities to really get outside of Tartu and explore. And also lots of sports at the UT Sports Center, which is really close to Delta. So it'll be, and quite close to the dormitories as well. And so a really nice picture of Tartu, the old town. And yeah, and going into career opportunities. So it actually gives you a lot of employers do look for economics and business administration graduates. And you have so basically once you have obtained your degree, most likely you've done an internship and you already have some connections and are able to, a lot of students start working their internship, and then if they perform well, they stay in that and have a job before they graduate, or after you graduate, you start looking and find a job in the local market or in an international market. Or if you found a specialty which you really like, say finance, you can start studying the next semester in your master's already. So thank you for listening, and I will be answering any of your questions in the chat and then in the question session afterwards.
Thank you very much, Stan, for your wonderful presentation and for providing also student perspective on your studies. Please don't forget to leave your questions. I see that we are receiving quite many of them. We are trying to cover some of them in the written form. Some of them we are going to answer live. So please leave them under Q&A box, and then in the end of this webinar, we are going to try to answer as much as we can. And now I'm going to give the floor to Efe and Ege, who are going to talk about medicine. Ege and Efe, please.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Efe. And I'm Ege. First of all, it's nice to meet you and nice to be here to present our Faculty of Medicine for you today. So I hope you can see the presentation now. Yes, we can start.
Yes.
Great. So dear friends, here you can see the overview of the program, which is taught in English, and its duration is 6 years with 360 credits. And as you see, it's a full-time study program. And there are only 24 places available for students. And unfortunately, the scholarships are not available in this program. So when we have the question, why medicine in English in Tartu? First of all, University of Tartu is the only university in Estonia which teaches medicine. And this means that almost all of the doctors who are licensed to practice medicine in Estonia is the graduate of University of Tartu. And during your studies, you will be working with real patients in Tartu University Hospital, which we will be showing pictures of it. And Tartu University Hospital is the largest provider of medical care in Estonia. And Tartu University belongs to the top 350 best universities in the field of medicine, with the research output, the departments are showing, and also with the performance of the clinics of the University of Tartu. And also after studying medicine in English in University of Tartu, you have many different career opportunities, such as continuing your medical career by practicing as a doctor, entering a specialization program, so being a specialist in a medical field, or you can also apply to various PhD programs if you are more interested in scientific discoveries and teaching, for example. Currently there are 137 students, whom majority of them are international students. And as you can see, there's a huge multicultural and multi-international group of people who are studying medicine in the English program at University of Tartu, which students are from Finland, United States, Turkey, Sweden, New Zealand, Norway, Malaysia, South Korea, Kazakhstan, Jordan, Iceland, and Great Britain. So here you see a small overview of the courses offered in the first year. So this is basically like pre-medical courses where you actually learn the science of medicine itself. For example, anatomy, biochemistry, biology, biophysics, etc. And also second year is considered as the pre-medical year, where those subjects do advance into, for example, physiology, immunology, epidemiology, also biochemistry continues. And starting from the third course, actually medical students start to be more active in the clinic, and being involved in clinic at such an earlier years in studies is actually a great advantage that Tartu gives, because this gives you enough time to decide what kind of specialization you're interested in. And third course is usually a mix between clinics and the preclinical phases. And we have courses that are like, that will help us in the clinical phase, such as pharmacology, the drug science, for example, or genetics. And as you see, the fundamentals of diagnostic course is a course which consists of the whole semester and is entirely conducted in the hospital. So in the fundamentals of diagnostics, for example, we have internal medicine, sports medicine, radiology, etc. Those courses do start. And as I continue, in the fourth course, starting from the fourth course and fifth course and sixth course, surely they're medical years, I would say, since all of them, like majority of them, let's say, take part in the university clinic. So in the fourth year, we have anesthesiology, surgery, clinical pharmacology and pathology, oncology, ophthalmology, and internal medicine. And as I said, in the fifth course, it's purely clinical, where you have the continuing courses of pathology, as well as all different clinical courses such as pediatrics, dermatology, obstetrics, and gynecology. And but not to like create a confusion, the courses in the first and second year and partially third year, they are like regular university courses, I must say. Like there's lectures and practicals and seminars, so you get a lab practice a lot in these 3 years. But in the later courses, which are conducted in a clinic, of course you get like lectures and seminars about the topics, but it's morely practical work. So you visit clinics, you consult patients, and then actively take part in their care program, such as taking part in the rounds with other doctors and resident students, etc. So yeah, thanks for pointing at that. And sixth course is actually the clinical practice year, where students actually work as intern doctors in the practice of emergency medicine, surgery, family medicine, internal medicine, and also they have a chance to get electives in the program where they would be interested in future. So among all of these courses, by the way, all the courses that we have mentioned are completely conducted in English, as this is the English program of University of Tartu. However, apart from these courses, there are also Estonian language courses, which makes up 18 credit points. And for medical students in the English curriculum, it is mandatory to get these courses up to level B1, 2. And this shouldn't, I don't think this should afraid you, because actually living in Tartu and also being involved in the hospital really gives you great chance to practice the Estonian language. So it shouldn't be a matter of question. You would pick up the language pretty fairly. But yeah, this is a mandatory thing for medical students to at least speak some Estonian, starting from the 3rd and 4th year. And also, apart from the courses that we have showed you, there are different opportunities to take elective and optional courses. For example, these can involve researches in different fields, for example, immunology or medical microbiology, etc. Or these courses do involve, for example, war and disaster medicine, etc., like different fields of medicine that you can actually see how it is like. And finally, at the end of our studies, like after finishing the clinical practice year, the 6th year, there's a final exam, which actually, like normally in different bachelor studies, students are expected to write a thesis or take the exam. But in our medical studies, there's a final exam to pass. And then basically, congratulations, you're a doctor. And deadlines. I'm sure if you're planning to apply for the University of Tartu's English medicine program, you're following the deadlines pretty carefully. But there are different deadlines for English and Estonian program. So for the English program, the application period ends at April 15th, and the results will be announced in June 15th. But if you have any questions about the Estonian application process, then we are not very well informed about that, and you may contact the Faculty of Medicine Admissions Office. So if we go now to the admission details, there are entry requirements for sure. So one of them is secondary education, and the other one is SAT test in biology, which requires of you to score minimum 680 points. And the admission score will be created, and a portion of it will be taken from the result that you obtain from SAT subject test, and also 30% of it will come from the motivation letter details, which we will talk about. But I've read a question regarding the SAT subject tests, and due to the latest changes in pandemic situation, of course, our university is also following the latest changes in the SAT subject tests. So, for example, last year there were also another options to apply if the SAT test, when the SAT tests were cancelled. So just to keep up with the newest details, please follow the admissions office's website, because they're updating it regularly, and it's very important to fulfill all the requirements for the application at least. And the process, it was also for us like that. So first we submitted the online application, which included the all the transcripts from our high school, for example, and also your, at least when we applied, we had the motivation letter. But yes, this is not a matter of question now. And also, just to bear in mind, SAT is a centralized test, subject test. So you don't have to send the SAT subjects to Tartu. So the results of your SAT test will be delivered to Tartu by College Board. So you don't have to worry about that. And if you get accepted, or if the university requires you to do so, then you have to send the documents by post. this is for the international students and for the English program in medicine. But for the Estonian program, as we said, they have a different application process and then different tests they have to do, not the SAT biology subject test. So please refer to SAIS for the application for Estonian language programs. So here is an overview of documents to submit for application. For international students, there's an online application, also a motivational letter that you have to write, and an official copy of the secondary school certificate, and a grade list in its in the original language. And also the translation of those documents are required. And also you would just send the result of SAT test. Sorry, yeah, there was a question about this, about the English translation. So as far as we know, university does not offer you to, university does not translate your application or your school certificate. So you have to get them translated beforehand. And yeah, thank you for clarifying that again. And finally, there's an application fee of 50 euros. And these are documents and the requirements for submitting an application. And for the SAT test in biology, as far as I know, the test dates are reduced. So there are tests which happen after the end of the application period. So no worries, you can still apply by sending your confirmation of registration to that SAT test, which is happening after the application period ends. And then probably the university would like to get your results once you get it. And as far as I remember, the test on 8th of May is still it will be taken into consideration for application. Yes. And for the Estonian students who are wanting to apply to English program, then yeah, they also have to get the SAT test done. And if you have any further questions, then please refer to the admissions office in the medical school. Yeah. And here are some details about the motivation letter, which you should describe. I will not read it one by one. You will find these presentations and the recording later on, but I can just talk about it overall, that why you're applying to the medical program at UT, and why are you willing to study Estonian, or why you think that you're a good candidate for medical studies. And basically, it's a letter, as Dr. Faustova said, it's a letter that describes you and helps the admissions office to, make differences between candidates who get the same results. Because as far as, as we stated, the Faculty of Medicine accepts students with a centralized test result, which is the SAT biology subject test. So if people have the same results, then motivation letter is the one that will change the places for applications. And it's a good opportunity for your future teachers to get to know you before you apply to school. So it's all nice. And yeah, so here is our main study building, Biomedicum. It's located on the Ravila Street, actually. And behind this building, you're seeing the clinicum, which when this photo was taken, I guess it was under construction. We have newer photos of the place, but Biomedicum is the basic, let's say, where the faculty is settled, and most of the first and second and let's say start of the third year subjects take place there. There are different labs and dissection halls for anatomy, for example, and microscopy laboratories, etc. And lecture halls are basically in Biomedicum. And here is the Tartu University Hospital, Tartu Clinicum. And the hospital situates right behind the medical faculty. So it is very easy it's exactly right there, as you can see. It's so convenient to, change buildings if you have any classes in, for example, in Biomedicum, and then you have to be at the hospital and stuff. And this is also great if you need to take part in various events happening in both buildings. And this is another photo of the clinicum. And as you see, this is the main hospital building where we have two small towers, let's say, and surrounding it there are different parts of the clinic. For example, the Children's Hospital, Internal Medicine building, and Hematology Oncology building, etc. So this is where mainly the hospital complex is settled, and it's one of the biggest hospitals in Estonia and the only university hospital in Estonia where the teaching happens. So it's quite important. So see you in autumn 2021. And glad we could, I hope we could answer your questions, and we will be answering in the next part of this webinar. So hope to see you in autumn 21. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chef and Ega, for your wonderful presentation. I think we received quite many questions already, so we don't waste our time and we will proceed to answering the questions. So the first question is going to be addressed to Ilona. What is the admission process for international student?
So as we already mentioned, you need to apply through the Dream Apply system, and there is some application process where you're answering questions, and also you're submitting your grade transcript from high school, you're writing a motivation letter, and also you are submitting your English language proof. All this regulation are also on our website, so if you want to see, you can always check the website.
Yeah, there is like a detailed description what you should do, what kind of documents should be submitted. So please go to the website of Science and Technology. The next question again to Ilona. Can we get a general idea of the previous final admission scores and that were admitted into the program, just so we can get an idea of where we stand on the merit list?
So program is getting more and more popular, and if we are talking about last year, for example, it was around 200 applications, and we have 50 places for science technology students. So around, not like that, and but we don't have a lot of tuition waiver scholarships. So previous year we had around 9 or 10.
And do you know about the admission score, for instance, to be enrolled to the university? Because according to the requirements, you need to get at least 66 points to be enrolled to the university. And what is the maybe mean score of the students who are enrolled to science and technology? If you remember, maybe.
I think that the last admitted student had over 70, but I don't remember the exact number, but yeah, 66 was not enough already. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, target like 70, starting from 70 to science and technology. Then a question, hello, how much are living costs, accommodation, food, travel cost for a student in average a month? Maybe Stan can comment on that. As a student, how much do you need per month?
So that really depends on the student, and it really depends on your living situation. But I think the most standard one is for international students coming, you're living at one of the dormitories, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but rent, so you can either share a room or you can have a room to yourself. If you share a room, then it's 90 euros per month, around that.
I think it's from 100 to 150, depending on the season, for a place, for a spot in the dorm.
And then if you want to get, because when I was there, it was a couple of years ago, maybe, or something like that. And then if you have the room to yourself, it's a little bit more expensive. And then another option is to, if you're already here for like a year or two and you have a friend who you want to live with, another option is to rent an apartment. But I would say to budget anywhere, the cheapest is probably around 450, 500. And I would say between 450 to 800 is a good budget, and completely depending on what you're doing. When I first got here, I would say my monthly budget was around 600 to 750 a month, rent included, which accounts for all the food you want to have, buy from the store, and going out, you know, maybe like twice or 3 times a month or something like that.
But it depends on every every individual students, because some students can spend less for entertainment and some other stuff, and some students can spend more. But we made a survey, and according to student survey, it's the mean would be 450 per month.
And also there's scholarships, and pretty much if you think it out in advance, there's a way to make it work, pretty much.
Thank you very much. Then the next question: is it allowed to submit the English certificate IELTS after admission deadline? I'm going to take this question by myself. So before 15th of March, you need to submit to Dream Apply the proof of the registration to the English exam. And then the results should arrive to us before 15th of April. So basically, yes, but you are required to submit the proof that you are registered to the exam before the application deadline. The next question: we would like to apply for fall 2021, but we'll receive high school grades. But high school grades will be received in July 2021. So this is not a problem at all, because none of our applicants who are studying currently, they received their graduation certificates by March 15th. So in this case, you need to upload the transcript of records for your high school. So basically, if you are having 11 years of studies, you need to submit your grades from 9th, 10th, and first part of 11th grade. And depending how many years, so basically from your high school, you need to ask the certificate from your school. And if it's not in English, you should translate it in English and verify it notary or verify it in schools that issue this document, or make an apostille. The next question: is it allowable to work in Estonia after finishing bachelor's degree? Does government allow it? So I can also take over this question, because according to the immigration rules, the students who finish their education in Estonia are allowed to stay for 9 months to search for a job if they're from non-European Union country. And of course, you can find the job and stay in Estonia, so it's up to you. Next question for science and technology. Ilona, do you offer tuition fee waiver scholarships for students from non-European Union countries?
Yes, we offer also for non-European countries. Yeah.
Thank you. I may need to ask this in webinar regarding the applying itself, but when applying to a medical school, do I need actual certified translation done by a professional of my secondary school certificates, grade list, or can I translate it myself, ask the school to do so and provide the original versions of that? Maybe Ege and Defa, you can comment on that?
Yes, surely. So at least like when we were applying for the medical school, we needed to translate our certificates, like high school finishing certificates, like transcripts, for example. We needed them to be translated by a certified translator who translates from your home language to English. So yeah, you don't have to translate it into Estonian. So you don't have to, it doesn't have to be in Estonian language. English language is fine, but still it has to be certified. So unfortunately, you have to.
Yeah, exactly. The translation should be certified, because it should correspond to the original, and unfortunately we don't speak all of the languages in the world, so we cannot check it, so it should be certified. The next question: will the classes held online or traditionally? Maybe Ilona, you can comment on that.
For sure, practicals cannot be held online, so this ones will be traditionally, and actually we hope that all classes will be soon traditionally, but we just now have such a hybrid system that for those students who already arrived to Estonia and managed to be here, we are doing offline classes, but at the same time, we provide online opportunity. At the moment, for sure, in February, I mean, all lectures are online because it was a big spread of corona lately, but starting from March, we again are going to this hybrid system when we are doing offline lectures, but we provide also online possibility. And for sure, all practicals are done offline.
Thank you very much, Ilona. So we are not going to cover these questions anymore because I saw it appears like constantly. So we're just going to skip them for future. The next question, can international students gain scholarship for bachelor's level? If yes, which ones? So maybe I just shortly answer this. So in most cases for scholarships, we are offering tuition waivers for some certain programs. In this webinar, Science and Technology and Business Administration are offering such opportunities to study for free. Unfortunately, there are no tuition waivers on medicine. And then you can have another scholarships like achievement scholarship or need-based scholarship. So you can check the list of the scholarships that are available for all the levels at our university on our website. Next question is addressed to medicine, but maybe I can also help to answer this. Do you know how many applicants there are each year? Of course, will vary, but approximately, and how many are taken in. I actually just opened myself the statistics to check how many people applied. Don't worry, Fendega, you don't need to know this information. So basically in 2019, we had 232 applications, and then in 2020, it was a bit less, it was 166 due to pandemic. And this year we are offering 24 places for medicine in English. So again, the question to medicine, I'm worried about the SAT test since the pandemic is getting worse. The test in December was already canceled, so the only opportunity for me to take it on the 8th of May. But if that would be canceled, what would happen then? I can also help with this question because it's not a standard question, it's not a standard situation that we usually have. So basically, if the test is going to be cancelled on the 8th of May, we are gonna, not we, but the admission office is going to evaluate you by your grades in your secondary diploma, secondary certificate, the certificate of your secondary education in biology. So yeah. The next question, can parents visit university before start of the course? Sure, like usually we have our doors always open, so parents are very welcome to come and see where you are gonna study. So yes, of course. And usually our bachelor students are arriving with their parents at first. So they're helping them to set up and they're leaving them. So of course, you're welcome. The next question. If I choose to take more than 6 credits of optional courses or more than 12 credits of elective courses, does the price for my studying increase or it remains the same? Thanks. I think it was asked during Ilona's presentation. Ilona, do you have these requirements about 6 credits of optional courses? Yeah.
We have 6 credits of optional course and 12 of electives, but for sure you can take as many courses you like and the price will be the same.
Thank you very much. Then next question to medicine. I have applied online. When do I know whether I will get accepted or not? I can also help with this because this year we have not the usual deadline of the announcing the results, and the results are going to be announced actually on the 15th of June this year. So this is the date that when you will know if you're admitted or not. Medicine. For the international dorms, can I get a room by myself? Do they provide meals as well? Maybe Fendeke, you can comment on that if you live in dorm. I think you're, yeah.
Like, first of all, we don't live in the, like, we used to live in the dorm with Efe, but now we currently don't live in the dorm. But for the dorm life, I think Stan talked about this a little bit, but you can, of course, get the full room yourself by applying to the housing system, let's say, the application to that. And they do not provide meals as far as I am concerned. But in the rooms, in the dorms, you have areas where you can cook and prepare your food and store your food, for example. So no problems with that.
Thank you very much. The next question is the science and technology. I will have my secondary school certificates issued later than the application deadline, so I'm applying with my current grades. First, should transcript of records for all high school years be uploaded to DreamApply, or the transcript should show results for the last autumn semester 2020 will suffice? And second, when I will receive my graduation document, will I be required to send by post a certified copy of the transcript of record uploaded to DreamApply in addition to it, or only the copy and the translation of my graduate documents in case I get admitted?
So for the first question, we need only the last semester, so you don't need to upload all certificates, all transcripts of all years, only the last one. And about sending by post, I'm not sure. I know that you have, after admission, you have to show it once you arrive to Tartu, but maybe Anna, you know, if they need also to send a copy of it by post.
I actually really not sure about that. Maybe our students know. Did you post your transcript of records?
So only once you arrive to Tartu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you are getting admitted, once you arrive to Tartu, you have to show your original document.
Thank you very much. The next question, could I work with my studies? Yeah, you will be allowed to work because student residence permit is going to give you rights to work without any limitation of working hours. But we would like to point out that your studies should be on the first place. First studies and then work. But yes, of course, if you can manage, you can combine studies and work. For medicine department, dentistry, does the university accept transfer students from out of Estonia? If yes, what are the requirements? I can help with that. We do consider transferring of some credits, but not for medicine department. So unfortunately, answer will be no.
May I just add something to this?
Sure, of course.
Because I've seen some questions regarding the like the dentistry, like the program. So it's only taught in Estonian language. So only the medicine MD program is in English, but dentistry, DDS, it's in Estonian. To clarify that.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Due to COVID-19, am I supposed to study at home or go to Tartu anyway to attend classes in person? I guess like if you can come, you are actually in normal time, you're obligated to come to Tartu and start your studies in person. So most probably we are going to have this combined studies which will include in person and online. So if you can come to Tartu, it would be good if you can come to the classroom. If you cannot come, you will be able to take your classes from home.
Sorry, I want to come back to the question about posting the transcript of grades. I just double checked that if you are admitted, then you still have also to post the copy of transcript of your final grades. So, and later show the original when you arrive to university.
Okay. So next question, how many people apply for BBA per year? So I can actually check right now the statistics. In 2019, we have 166 applications, and 2020, we have 307 applications, and we have 25 places. So you can do the math, quite many people applying. Then again, for business administration, is it possible to use Единый государственный экзамен, Russian English state exam, to prove my knowledge of English? I have 80 points out of 100. Is this enough? Yes, it is enough. We are accepting the Russian English state exam, and it should be at least 75 points. So if you have 80, we are going to accept it. The next question, the science and technology, and I guess we already covered it. How many students enroll on bachelor's degree science and technology each year? And I guess Ilona already mentioned that it's about 200 people are applying. And then how many places do you have, Ilona? 50. Yeah, thank you very much. Can you tell more about the BBA course? For example, why Tartu is the best option, as there is also other universities which provide this program? Maybe Stan, you can comment this question.
I've only done the business administration program at Tartu, and I haven't looked into a lot of the other schools that do business administration. So I can't speak to what they're offering, but like I brought out in the presentation, the Delta building is where you're going to be studying. If you get into the program, is world class. It's a beautiful place to study. The cost also is, you can either get a tuition waiver, which I'm sure a lot of schools don't have or have very limited, but you can get a tuition waiver. And if you're paying tuition in comparison, for example, to fees in the US or anywhere else as an international student, it's you get a very good education for the price that you're paying. Tartu is and Estonia in general, I really love Estonia, and I really love Tartu as well. I think it's I think the environment of being a student town gives it sort of a different feeling than, for example, if you were to go to a big city. When I was in University of Washington, which has around 60,000 students, you really don't get to know people as well as at the University of Tartu. And also the class structure was a lot different. So you would choose your path a lot more, so that you would have different classes with different people, and then you wouldn't see those people again. So, but at the University of Tartu, and in the business administration program, you enter with the same group of people, and you go through the course together. So you end up getting to know those people quite well. So yeah, to wrap it up, world-class building, good cost and benefit ratio, getting to know people, and student town. It's really those are the points that I can bring out.
Thank you very much, Dan, for nice answer. The next question is addressed to science and technology. I want to apply to science and technology bachelors. Are scholarship available for international students? If available, which ones? I mean, tuition fee or monthly? Thanks in advance for your answer. Ilona?
Oh, yes, we have the tuition waivers for international students as well, which covers tuition fee. And also after first semester, you can apply for achievement stipend, which is, if I'm not mistaken, around 100 euros per month. But you can apply for achievement stipend only after first semester, when you have some kind of grades already and you can be evaluated.
Thank you very much. The next question, does the university attend Model United Nations conferences? I'm asking just out of general curiosity, some universities do participate in them. I guess here we have the programs that are represented, so not really related to, okay, again, if I can comment on that.
As far as we know, like we used to also do MUN back in high school, and in Tartu there is the MUN club, and also Tartu has their own MUN conference. But unfortunately this year it couldn't be conducted due to COVID. But I'm sure here you can find people who are interested in multi-media, so no worries.
Thank you very much. The next question, guys, is again for you. I would like to apply for medicine. I need more guidelines about motivation letter.
I would personally say that, like in the website, you can see how the motivation letter should be structured. However, I would like to also express that since it's a motivational letter, maybe some kind of external guidance would like kind of mislead you in a way. So just try to be yourself and try to answer those questions as much as you can, and I'm sure it will be a great motivation letter. Because the motivation letter, of course, you can, get it written to like your teachers, for example, and then get it super well constructed for all the answers. But if it doesn't represent you, then there is like no point of sending that. So at least when we were writing our own motivational letter, personally I mostly focused on why I think medicine is the right path for me to study, and what motivates me to come to Tartu, and then what motivates me to study medicine. So maybe focusing on those would really help you a lot. But yeah, good luck.
Thank you very much. I also sent the link to the requirements to motivation letter, so you can check it out. And next question, is dentistry offered at the University of Tartu? I think we already covered a little bit this question, so it's offered, but it's in Estonian. Next question, is there any type of admission test to be admitted here, or if I fulfill all the requirements, I can apply? Definitely for bachelor studies, we don't have any admission tests, but you need to upload all the required documents. And for instance, for medicine, it's SAT test. And then for other programs, it's, for instance, for science and technology, it's either your grades from school or SAT test, or as well as for business administration and motivation letter. So basically, the application process is going to be online. You need to upload your documents before the deadline, and then you need to wait until the final decision from the admission office. And I'm sorry, because I previously said the deadline is 15th of March, because it's a deadline for master's program, and right now I understood that we are in bachelor's, so it's April 15th. Just not to confuse you, it's April 15th. So it's done. Then to science and technology. Is there also an option to learn Estonian through some kind of course?
Yes, we have in elective model, for example, Estonian language. Also, you can study Estonian language as an optional subject, and yeah, so, and also all other languages is possible to study.
Thank you very much. The next question, does it matter to apply in February or April? Actually, it doesn't matter, but I still would encourage you to apply earlier, because then you will receive a feedback from the admission office regarding your documents. And if something is missing, you still will be able to change it before the application deadline. So yeah, it's better to apply in February, but then we are not going to make any decision before actually the end of application deadline. So when everyone will apply, then all these documents are going to be considered for the admission. So the question to again, how old are the students typically when they start medicine in Tartu? As I'm kind of old already.
This is a question we also had in mind when we were applying, because normally at least the the country where we're coming from, usually students after high school start studying medicine. But here in Tartu, I guess you can find people from various age groups, right? Yeah, like at least in our course, we have some friends who are already studying medicine as their second or even third degree after their like master studies. Some have enrolled also in PhD studies. So I don't think there's like there's like an age thing going on in medicine studies. It's just like if you have the motivation to study, you're more than welcome to do so.
Thank you very much. Next question is to Stan. What are the chances of getting admission into your school as an international applicant? As international applicants, I'm applying for BBA, about to submit my application. Is there anything to know? Stan, do you want to give some tips and share your experience?
Yeah, so I'm not actually, hold up, is the question in the chat? Because could you repeat the question again?
What are the chances of getting admission into your school as international applicants? I'm going to apply to BBA, about to submit the application. Is there anything to know?
Okay, so I think your chances are the same as somebody applying from Estonia. There's no difference there. So I can't really speak to that. And tips for getting in is focus on your motivation letter, and make sure that maybe you bring out some reasons why studying in Estonia would be a good option for you, or maybe bring out some projects that you've been a part of, or really just and make sure that your grammar and English skill is demonstrated very, very nicely in the essay. Punctuation and grammar professionalism is one of the top tips I can give. Just make sure it looks good. Read the have other people read over what you've written, and check the requirements twice and make sure that you have everything there. So yeah, but your chances are just the same as an Estonian student, and the program is geared towards international students. So you definitely don't have to worry about being at a disadvantage applying from outside of Estonia.
Thank you very much, Stan, for your answer. Also, I have heard from program managers that they don't like typos and they don't like really like bad English. So spend some time on your motivation letter to write it in a nice way. So, and also avoid plagiarizing, because it's going to be checked and you will lose your chances to apply if it's plagiarized. For medicine, is grade sheet from high school required for medicine? Yeah.
Yes, as stated in the like application process part, I'm sure you can find it in the UT website, sub website medicine, and then sub website admissions part. You can see how you will have to send your transcript for your previous studies, but yes, it is required. And also, if it's possible, we can just take over the upcoming like 2 questions, because they're all related to medicine.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
The upcoming question was about the SAT subject test, which is planned to take place at 8th of May. So you basically register to that test, and then once you take that test and the results come, you just send the results to the University of Tartu, and it will be considered in the application process. But
yes, and you need to upload the registration, so we can see that you are registered to this test on the 8th of May. Exactly.
Like you have to complete all the application except your SAT score, and then when it comes, it will be added. So that's that. And this question is about transferring credits to
yes.
first and second year courses. Yes, it is possible. We have had friends who have done previous degrees, and this like concept is called recognition of prior learning, or PL, I suppose. So some courses can be transferred, some courses cannot. And some courses can be partially transferred. So you can transfer like a part of the course or like an exam, for example. So this is a very case-by-case based application. So once you enroll and once you become a student here, then you can actually refer to the dean's office to see which courses you can like transfer. And teachers usually compare the course outline that you had in your previous education, and then they check if it like suits with their like program, and then if it's allowed, then you can either get it fully recognized or partially recognized.
Thank you very much for the description. Then the next question: are Muslim applicants accepted? Sure, we care about your grades, about your qualifications, but you can be of any religion or of any nationality. Then the next question, do we have to send IELTS certificate by post? No, IELTS should not be sent by post. I will provide you the link, actually, how you should submit IELTS certificate, because we will need to verify it with IELTS office. So please wait for the link. I'm going to send it shortly. Is GED degree acceptable? Does anyone know how to comment on that?
Well, I'm not an admissions person, but if there's confusion about what GED means, it's I think it's in the United States where you haven't graduated high school in the normal way, but you finished your high school degree with a GED. So I think if you have your GED, it constitutes having graduated high school. So I think that should be acceptable, but maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, it's acceptable.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Then the next question, what about the residency years in medicine? I actually already prepared the contacts to send from the medicine department, and I can tell that the knowledge of Estonian is required for residency, so you should take it into consideration. And you can see the specialists for residency that you can contact with. I'm also applying to study to medical school in my home country, but the admission results come at later date than the ones in Estonia. I believe the deadline to accept the position in med school in Estonia is roughly 2 weeks, while results from my country come roughly in the July. What to do in case I'm accepted to both Estonia and my home country? Maybe Efe and Ege, you can comment on that.
I guess this is a very like, you know, as I said, a case by case based option, I would say. But the thing is, you can always not accept your application, or after you accept your application, you can just withdraw your place. And then if you withdraw your place, then someone else who's in the list will be taken in. So if you want to be make sure you get to study medicine next year, then I would say apply and then wait for the results of these applications. And depending on which one you want to take into consideration, I hope it's Tartu, and you can just not accept the other one. So this is what at least happened in the past years with people who applied here, also applied to other places, but then either stayed in Tartu or left Tartu. So it's your option.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. Since we have quite many questions, I'm going to skip the questions that we already answered to. For instance, the next question, how many seats are available for international students in science and technology? We already mentioned it, that 50 seats are available. And for medicine, I graduate after the deadline. What should I do? So basically, you just provide the transcript of your grades from your school. And then when you get your certificate, then you will send us your certificate. Then the next question, do we have an option to take final exam in science and technology? Ilona?
If the question is, can you do final exam instead of defense of bachelor's degrees? And then the answer is no. In science technology, you have to defense bachelor degree thesis at the end.
Thank you. If we do not wish to provide school grades, can we wait until we get the final exam grades for medicine English? No, unfortunately, you need to provide your grades from school if you don't have a certificate by the deadline, so by April 15th. What is the average of SAT scores that the uni receives? Maybe again, Defa, you can comment.
We statistically don't have don't have information regarding what's the current situation now. But as far as I remember, at our year, it wasn't 680. It was around how would you say?
So if your SAT is over 680, you are considered as an applicant. But in order to enroll, at least the mean scores that the students have are much higher than 680.
So it's around 720, 750s. So this can maybe give you an idea what you should aim, but always aim for the highest.
Thank you very much. I think the next question is again addressed to you. What is the thesis exam for medicine?
Okay, so the final exam for medicine is actually a test that it's required when you complete 355 credits of the course, and the final 5 credits is that test. And it basically consists of questions from the clinical cycles. So after let's say, it will include subjects from 3rd, 4th, 5th, and half of 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th years. But it's basically just for completing your degree and getting a medical licensure to practice medicine.
I just checked, it's a 200 question exam at the end of the whole medical school. So you're responsible for the whole curriculum. But I think that's a very, very later step that you should think about now.
Thank you very much. So next question, I'm going to provide the link for that. So does, again, therefore to you, does it have limitation age for applying medicine study? Is there any limitation for age to apply to medicine? I'm 36 years old and I live in Finland. Please answer my question.
No, I guess it's just about your motivation. If you're motivated to study and if you just fulfill all the requirements, then why shouldn't you be enrolled?
Yeah, we don't have any limitation, so you're welcome to apply. Many universities around the world are seeing the record number of applications this year. Is it the same at the University of Tartu? Well, do you mean that you can see how many actually applications this year? Like if its information is public? This information is not public because it's still the application is going on, but of course we are going to have statistic after all, so we can provide you the numbers, how many people applied. And we are doing it now, for instance. There are many questions, how many people applied for each of the program, so it's an open information. How advanced in mathematics, in biophysics and biochemistry in the first year of medicine? Again, Defa?
That's a great question, and I would say the level of mathematics required for the biophysics and biochemistry subjects. Well, for chemistry, I guess you need more of chemistry skills, but the courses are majorly important to understand further concepts in medical biochemistry and medical physiology, for example. So I wouldn't say that you shouldn't be too much bothered if you're not super good at solving integral problems, let's say, but still you kind of need some kind of an understanding. And since you are completing a high school degree with with mathematics and etc., so that should be enough.
Thank you. And next question is also addressed to you for medicine. Do we get to borrow books from library or do we buy it ourselves?
You can of course buy your own books if you want to have have a personal library of medicine, but at least Tartu University Library has a great choice of books for medical students. We even have like a huge area of the library devoted to medical and scientific books. And also, if you remember, the Faculty of Medicine in Biomedicum, we have a separate library for medical students to borrow books. So yeah, you can of course borrow books, and there are many options.
Thank you very much. I just by mistake closed one question about the webinar in robotics. So I'm going to send the link in our chat. So you can see that. Unfortunately, we didn't have a webinar for master program in robotics. But you can still contact program managers. So I will leave you the link that you can connect with people. The next question: are there widely available halal food options in Tartu? I don't know. Does anyone can answer that? Because I'm actually not really aware of that. Maybe you can join our webinar, which is going to be today at 2 o'clock with our international ambassadors, and they're going to talk about the practicalities in Tartu, and they're going to talk about the places where you can eat, the transportation, all the practical stuff. So it would be nice if you can join maybe that webinar so you get answer to your question.
I just looked up the definition of halal because I've heard about it, but I don't know what the exact definition is. I could be wrong, but it says that an example of like non-halal food would be pork. And in that case, I have bad news because Estonians love to eat pork, and there's a lot of pork, and basically the Estonian diet consists of like pork and potatoes and cabbage, but there's a lot of delicious restaurants where you can order food that doesn't have any of the have those stuff. And from the store, there's rice, there's chicken, there's all the major food staples that you could expect. So I'm sure if eating it at restaurants may be problematic, then making food will not be an issue. And there are definitely places where you can get halal food, but it's just it's not there's not that many labels, or at least in the time I've been here, you can't see.
Thank you very much, Dan. The next question: why do you mislead applicants and ignore certain questions? You can also follow our answers and our questions. We are answering all of the questions that are going to in the row. Some of the questions we are going to answer in written form because we are providing some links which are going to be useful for you. So we are not misleading or ignoring any questions that are asked here. And you can see that we answered 86 questions, and you have an access to all of the questions, so you can also follow us. The next question to medicine: does medicine require English proficiency?
Okay, so medicine, like to apply for the medical program, you don't have to present English proficiency test result like IELTS or TOEFL, because the test, the SAT subject test, is like English test of biology. So basically passing this test would confirm that you can speak, you're proficient in English language, you can speak English and stuff. So not yet.
But for the practical matters, I would say it would be like nice to have at least some kind of a proficiency, so that you will be having classes in English and like having like taking part in classes in English. And so I think it's important in a way.
Thank you very much. For science and technology, Ilona, how will some students be evaluated if the exams are cancelled? As an IB student, the issue has not been still confirmed.
If you don't have any, actually to study in university anyway, you have first to graduate from your high school. So if there will be no possibility for you to get the final certificates, then unfortunately you cannot apply for the program, in university.
Thank you very much. This question was asked already 3 times. I answered on it in written form. Is there any type of admission test to be admitted here, or if I fulfill all the requirements, I can apply? We don't have any admission tests, so if you fulfill the requirements, you can apply, uploading all of the required documents to Dream Apply system. The next question. I completed my high school in 2017. Can I still apply? Yes, you can apply. For science and technology, I would like to ask another question. Right now, I have a Pearson test of English General 65, but soon I will take C1 Cambridge. Can I use the first exam for application? Ilona, could you comment on that? Or maybe I can also help you. So the minimum score of Pearson test should be 59. So if you have 65, it's basically enough to apply, and you need to send the test to the university electronically via the portal. So
yeah, you covered the question.
Yeah, just helping. Is it possible to apply to science and technology program with a college transcript too? Yeah. It's possible. Basically, it's the same as school, so the same you will need to provide this transcript of your college grades. Can I work with my studies? Yes, you can work. You don't have limitation of time, and you can work with the residence permit for studies, but studies should be on the first place. Is there an option for a part-time job? There are always options for a part-time job, and I know that some of our students are working, and it's not necessary to know Estonian to have some job in Tartu. Okay, there is the same question about work, so we already covered this. I am sorry if you have already answered this question, but is it allowed to work during the studies? Again, we just covered it. Is there Azerbaijan or Georgian student studies on bachelor's program at UT? So maybe Ilona, you can.
Yeah, it's a lot of Azerbaijan and Georgian students studying, and in UT and in science technology, I believe that also in other programs like business administration and medicine as well.
Another question, which one is Efe and which one is Ege?
I'm Efe.
And I'm Ege.
Glad to meet you guys.
Thank you. For science and technology, I'm getting my high school diploma only in June, hence my grades in all subjects. Does it mean I'm not eligible to apply?
You are eligible to apply because while you are submitting application, it's enough to submit the transcript of your last grades. It means for the winter semester or how it's divided in your school, and you will be evaluated according to these grades, and you will be, for example, conditionally accepted, and after you will get the final certificate, you will send a copy of it to the university.
Thank you very much, Ilona. There is a second part of this question. The problem is that I'm not enrolled to full-time student at school, and do not have any current grading list. The last certificate that I have is basic educational diploma 9th grade. I'm going to take external exam in all subjects for the whole Belarusian school program during May and get my grades in the beginning of June. I think it's very direct question to our admission office. And actually, we are going to have our webinar with admission specialist in 15 minutes. So please, I will send the link now and join us and ask this question from admission expert. So unfortunately, we are running out of time. So this probably was the last questions that we covered today, but we managed to cover almost 100 questions. And thank you very much for being with us and for asking your questions from us. You are going to receive the recording of these presentations and and you're going to receive the slides. So you will be able to have all of our contacts, and in case you have questions, please ask. It's better to ask than submit your documents in the wrong way. And right now, in 15 minutes or even less, we are going to have our next webinar with admission office. So please join us. I just sent the program of our open doors. So you can see the link and you can register and continue being with us and actually ask very specific questions about admission process. So all in all, I wish you all the best. I encourage you to apply to medicine, to business administration, to science and technology. Please do apply, and hope to see you next academic year at the University of Tartu. Thank you for being with us.